What's for dinner? Today we're going to do pork tenderloin two ways. In the spirit of keeping the children well fed and well rested, since we are on the brink of back to school, we are going to do a super quick and easy pork tenderloin in the way that they love, and then with the other one, I'm going to do it the way that I love. So our first method literally can't get any easier. You're going to take your pork tenderloin and put it in your slow cooker. Then I'm going to take a pack of onion soup mix, open it up, if I can open it. Okay, it needs scissors, if you insist. So here we have our lonely pork tenderloin. We are going to sprinkle this onion soup mix over top. I'm going to pour in my water, put on my lid, and then we are going to set this on high for 4 hours. Done. Literally, that's all that it takes. Now, if your kids weren't so particular, you could throw potatoes, potato halves or mini potatoes, whole peeled carrots in there and have one delicious dinner all done at once. And using the slow cooker, of course, it's going to be nice and tender and juicy, and the onion soup mix recipe will work for any cut of pork roast, whether you have like a blade roast or a shoulder roast. Pairs so nicely with the onion soup mix. All right, our second pork tenderloin is our air fryer pork tenderloin. Now this one requires a little bit more prep work, but it is completely worth it in the end. If you like that sort of like crusted outer layer with a nice juicy center that is bursting with flavor, then this one is for you. Nola is currently mixing up our spice mix in there. What does it smell like, Nola?
It smells really good, but I don't know what the smell smells like, but it smells really, really good.
So the first thing we need to do is remove the outer membrane of the pork tenderloin. So if you flip the pork over to its meaty side, you're just gonna do a little slice down here. And you can see it kind of has this like silvery shimmer to it. And then hopefully it peels off.
I really like my brother's silly ending, and then you fart.
So it's just a slight layer. It doesn't cover the whole pork loin. It's usually just on the fattier side. And this is just so that our seasoning will really penetrate and stick to your pork loin.
Letting me help, Mom.
No problem. So now when you start to pull off pieces of pork with your membrane, you know you're just about done. See how there's like this line here? This side looks shiny. Just want to get that shiny stuff off. Now it's not just the fat, it's not this white part up here. It's just like this whole outer membrane that just comes on this cut of meat. Now, if you're doing our other technique, which is the slow cooker, you definitely don't need to remove this part for that. So first, I'm gonna take a little dab of olive oil and rub it all over the pork loin, and this will also help our marinade stick. We have our lovely spice mix here, which is a bit of brown sugar, some garlic powder, I think some paprika. No, not in this one. It's chili powder and some cumin. I'll list everything below, but it really is a nice blend and mix. You want to make sure you get both sides and the whole thing, and it's going to rub off. That's completely fine. Just make sure you get it all nice and coated here. And then we are going to let this sit for 30 minutes before we cook it. What we look like after our 30 minutes, everything's nice and soaking in, it looks nice and juicy. Now I've set the air fryer to 385 for 20 minutes. So we've got it set in the air fryer, we've got that little tail tucked in there. And now we're gonna pop it in. So the cooked temperature for your pork loin is going to be 145 degrees. Now, there's a few different ways you can accomplish this. Some people like to take the pork loin out 10 degrees earlier than that, so at about 135. Put it on a plate and tent it with some foil. It will continue to cook for a few more minutes and it will go up 8 to 10 more degrees. I personally like to pull it out at about 140 and just leave it on a plate, because even just leaving it sitting alone, the juices flowing inside are still going to cook your meat for a little bit longer to help it reach those last few degrees it needs to be fully cooked but still nice and juicy. Here is our finished product. Looking divine, nice and crispy. I'm gonna let that rest for a minute, let the juice flow. Slow cooker pork loin. And as you can see, it has shrunken up quite a bit more than the one that we cooked at a much faster level in the air fryer. Nice and juicy. I mean, the juice is still dripping out of it. And for our slow cooker pork tenderloin, this one tends to fall apart a little bit more rather than slice. And it is so yummy. So here I've plated mine with just some simple mashed potatoes and green beans, and the kids have the slow cooker version of the pork, which is just as yummy and delicious. There you have it. Pork tenderloin, 2 ways, super easy. I hope you like one.